What the fuck is going on, everyone? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is Stranger Days After Dark, the one show of the week where I finally get to let the fuck loose, say what's on my goddamn mind, and not worry about YouTube demonetizing the videos. This one is done specifically with that in mind, which is one of the reasons why, if you want to support it, Streamlabs, Patreon, become a channel member, support it through super chats. You can do so any way you want. It does help out, but it's not required. It is simply an option. But that being said, let me fill you in on the concept. The concept of what Stranger Days After Dark is. So what we're going to be looking at today are 5 stories I've collected throughout the week that run the gamut from just what the fuck to, oh dear God, what the fuck. It runs the wide spectrum, and we're going to jump into that here in just a second. So I want to let you know, I want to give you a solid little trigger warning. If you get queasy, you may not want to hang around for the last couple of these stories. But that being said, let's jump right the hell into it here. Let's take a look at Stranger Days After Dark for the, what's the day? The 5th of January, 2019. So this first story here is one that I came across that I thought was pretty funny because it does seem like something that would happen at a Taco Bell. A lack of hot sauce here leads to a shooting at a Taco Bell. Talk about people like trying to get the hell out of there. They're literally running for the border of the parking lot. Oklahoma City here is where it happened. Police are searching for a man who fired several shots through a Taco Bell drive-thru when he didn't get the taco sauce he wanted. It happened recently at a Taco Bell in Oklahoma City. When officers got to the scene of a reported shooting, they learned that a fight over hot sauce could have caused the ordeal. It appears that there was some kind of confrontation with an employee through the drive-thru. A man was complaining about not getting enough hot sauce or not getting any taco sauce and was very upset, according to Gary Knight with the Oklahoma City Police Department. Okay. Let's you know what, this actually makes sense to me. This legitimately makes fucking sense. So have you ever gone to Taco Bell? I'm sure most of us have, and we always immediately regret it. This is, people always talk shit about Chipotle. Chipotle is at least competent in the food that they give you. It's just the norovirus you usually get from employees not washing their hands before they serve you that has you, shooting waterfalls out of your anus. But this particular case, Taco Bell is just getting progressively worse over the years. And especially when it comes to trying to get fucking hot sauce, right? If I get suckered into going to Taco Bell, I always ask lots of hot sauce, right? And you have to be specific. You can't use a standard term like I want a lot or a little or a good amount. These people are so goddamn fucking literal in their desire to get the, you have to tell them how much you need. If you go, I want 15 fucking hot sauce packets, and they'll be like, sir, all you ordered was just a double XL stuffed burrito. Yes. Because all it comes is like it's a fucking ounce. It's like a fucking ounce in that goddamn thing. And I like to lather it with hot sauce. So then later on, when I poop my own waterfall of your food, it burns to remind me not to go back. But they love to stinge. They love to fucking be stingy when it comes to that. I'm not even kidding you. All right, so according to police, the suspect then fired at least one round through the drive-through window. The suspect then got out, came inside the business. Employees locked themselves in the bathroom. He apparently left. It's unclear what he did while he was there as they were hiding. He probably went to the bar and took more goddamn hot sauce, which is something you have to do occasionally. The restaurant left with shattered glass and a boarded up drive-through window. Thankfully, no employees were hurt. And I do agree with that. Thankfully, no employees were hurt at all during this event. But the officer here says, anytime you've got people inside the business and some person decides for whatever reason to fire bullets into that business, makes for a very dangerous situation, and we're extremely fortunate that no one was hurt. Thank you, Captain fucking Obvious. Or I should say, thank you, Sergeant fucking Obvious. Yes, obviously when dealing with the situation involving someone opening fire in a Taco Bell for not getting enough hot sauce, it is probably for the best to duck and cover, just hide in the freezer until they leave. Thankfully, no one was hurt. Very true. But this next story, no, people got hurt. Man allegedly shot wife and her parents after finding a sex tape with his pal. They say hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. Hell hath no fury like a dude who was cucked by his best friend. Let's be fair about that. And look at this guy. He looks like the type. All right, police in Florida. It's a Florida man story, and it didn't even lead with Florida man. Now that's a fucking disappointment. Police in Florida said a man allegedly shot his wife and parents-in-law after uncovering a sex tape of a spouse with his best friend. Brian William Stillwell, aged 39, was arrested following a New Year's Day triple shooting at a Melbourne home that sent his 5-year-old twins running for help. Well, I'm glad the twins are okay. Stillwell allegedly showed up at a backyard gathering where his children were present and opened fire using a 9mm semi-automatic pistol. In a call to 911, Stillwell alleged he could be overheard in the background, accusing his wife of cheating while his son and daughter begged him to stop shooting. At least they've got the foresight to try to beg the dad to stop opening fire on New Year's Eve. It's like, Dad, stop. It's not midnight yet. Okay, we have to keep the sounds down until the clock strikes midnight, and then you can shoot as much as you want. And by the way, I've seen that in Long Beach, where we're enjoying ourselves, having a nice old time, drinking on the balcony of my friend's apartment. Strikes midnight, we're out there cheering, we're clapping, we're yelling. A dude in a hoodie rolls up, pulls out a 45, and just unloads the magazine. Not up, thank God, but out diagonal, and we got the hell out of there pretty quick. The child here reportedly said to the father, "No, Daddy, no, I don't want anyone to die," which again is very, I have to just give credit to these kids, like, for trying to talk sense into their dad. I very much do, and I'm glad that they're okay. The children escaped unharmed, and the 3 injured adults were rushed to the hospital in stable condition. The suspect's wife and mother-in-law were set Thursday to undergo surgery, while the father-in-law has been released. Stillwell surrendered to police and was booked on charges for attempted murder and child abuse. He allegedly told detectives he saw a video on his wife's phone of her having sex with his best friend before he gunned down her family. I kind of feel like we're already in peak 2019. I feel like we're already there. Like 2019 it's a couple days in, 5 days in, first weekend of the year, and we're already hearing about Florida man gunning down in-laws and soon to be ex-wife because he found a video of her getting totally fucking blasted by his best friend. Authorities said the wife recently moved in with her parents because she was experiencing marital trouble. Yeah, you fucking think? You fucking think? Now listen, I in no way am I even remotely putting any of this on the woman. She's clearly the victim here. But like, if you're having marital problems, you maybe you know kind of the psyche of your husband, and it might not be a good idea to record yourself just getting porked by his friend. I mean, I understand the desire to want to hurt somebody. I understand the desire to want to show them that he's being cucked by a big bull, big dick, big balls, big cum, right? All that. I get that. But the way people react, you never really know what's going to happen. You never know if you're going to just get a person to crumble to their knees and go, "Why am I a cuck?" Or if they're going to show up at your New Year's Eve party with a 9mm and open fucking fire. So, thankfully, no one was killed. That part is good. This next one, though, yeah, people died. So, revenge served cold. A pedo shot by hitmen hired by dads of one of his teen victims. Now, this is a story that I guarantee you is going to have a lot of people going, "Yeah," right? Justice fucking served. It's going to be all over Reddit. People are going to love it. I'm not really big on the vigilante justice aspect of it myself, but there's a certain element here that I'm like, yeah, okay. Like, I don't really feel bad. You know what I mean? I don't really feel bad. But at the same point in time, it's, you gotta go through the justice system here. All right. Former pastor Giuseppe Mazzarazzo was killed a month after he was released from jail. Police in Italy are investigating whether a pedophile was shot dead by hitman hired by the dad of one of his teen victims. Giuseppe Mazzarazzo, a pastor in Benevento, I can fucking talk, north of Naples, was killed a month after being released by jail. The 45-year-old had been serving an 11-year sentence for sexually abusing 2 sisters after working as a religious leader in the district of Frasso Telesino. This is one of the reasons why I'm very anti-organized religion. It always seems to cause more pain than good. Just saying, enjoy your faith, have your spiritual awakenings, believe whatever God you want to believe, but stay the fuck home on Sundays. All right, stay the fuck home on Sundays. I think we've learned this. Anything connected to the Catholic Church and young children, keep them the fuck away. But yet, every year, it never fucking ceases to amaze me. How many times we hear about this every single fucking year? All right, so her father is now being, okay, one of the victims committed suicide at the age of 15 in 2008, the year after he was imprisoned. Her father is now being investigated on suspicion of killing the sex abuser after his body was found with 5 gunshot wounds. 2 other men, 30-year-old Generoso Nastam and Giuseppe Massaro, are also under investigation. The prosecutors believe the pair drove the car used to commit the crime. Matarazzo was released in June last year after serving 11 years and 6 months in jail and found dead on July 19th. Detectives found a car covered nearby and a 356 Magnum pistol that led to the arrests. Chief prosecutor has confirmed that it was a hired crime. And now here's the thing. Here's ultimately the thing. Do you think anyone out there is going to feel bad for this guy? Do you think anyone out there is going to feel sad that a pedophile who assaulted 2 young girls, spent 11 years in prison, was shot and killed? No one is going to bat an eye over this. Right. And the thing is, I don't really feel like you should ever bat an eye over this. Now, vigilante crime, vigilante justice, as much fun as it is to play in video games and as much fun as it is to watch in movies or to read about in pop culture, is a real dangerous and dirty game. I mean, this, I'm pretty sure like the dad's going to get arrested and go to jail for a long time for murder. And the 2 guys who did it are also going to get arrested. They're going to flip on the dad because they've already said it's a hired crime. So they're going to flip on the dad and people are going to go to jail. I think a lot of people out there, and I would expect this in the comments and even in the chat right now, is that people out there are going to sit there and go, yeah, why didn't the cops just sit there? It was a suicide. Just say it was a suicide. Like, who's this guy? A child molester? Yeah, I say it was a suicide. I don't think anyone's going to really care about a chomo going down. Yeah, I don't really care about a guy like this. Hey, hurting kids, man. Nah, fuck that. Fuck that. Don't do vigilante justice. The guy went through the justice system. He did his time. But I also don't feel bad. And I don't know if that makes me a bad person. Like, I think of it from a parent perspective. Like anyone hurts my kid, I'm okay with them getting hurt. It's just one of those fucking things. It's a weird moral gray area. And I usually like to be like the logical a person. I like to look at things logically. But when I hear a story like this, I can't help but think, good. And I just don't know if that makes me bad. Anyway, also, if you're wondering why everything on the side of the screen is blurred out, I just realized there's nudity in a sidebar. God damn it, the sun. Anyway, here's a funnier one for you guys. Burger King reneged on Meals for Life deal after a few days, right? Never trust the Burger King. Always go to McDonald's. Always go to McDonald's because Burger King lets you down. Not only do they always screw up your order, they find a way to renege on a deal where you get Meals for Life. Although if someone were to offer me Meals for Life from Burger King, I think I would actually probably end up turning it down. So, all right, it's from my home state. An Oregon man claims he was royally screwed by Burger King because the fast food chain yanked his promise for Meals for Life as a consolation for getting trapped in one of its bathrooms. I don't know. I don't really know if that's really consolation because you're in there trapped in a bathroom surrounded by the remnants of people who have eaten Burger King. So it's really just one of those things where you're looking around going like, oh, that's what a Whopper smells like coming out the back end. Curtis Bruner is suing the home of the Whopper for the value of the delicious deal, which his lawyers say is $9,026.16 over the embarrassing debacle. Did they really equate like, oh yes, that's the $10,000? You figure Meals for Life would cost more than $10,000, but I guess not. The 50-year-old's beef began on December 15th when he dined at the Wood Village restaurant and then used the restroom. He became trapped when the bathroom door wouldn't open, so he called the location on the cell phone to get help. It's the kind of place where you hold your breath, go in, and get out there as fast as you can, says Bruner, a registered sex offender. That's a nice little addition to the story, isn't it? Right? Now you don't really feel so bad for the guy. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Chomo. Or whatever it is. I don't know. He could have peed in public. We have no idea. Pretty sure it's bad though. It's like, oh, I'm sorry you had to sit in there and like suffer a horrible smell. How do your victims feel? I have no respect for these people, to be honest with you. Okay. Okay. Oh no. Employees slid a fly swatter under the door, which he desperately tried to using to jiggle the lock open, but ended up cutting his hand. So not only is he stuck with a shitty smell, he's also got a cut on his hand. Again, going back to that registered sex offender aspect, I don't really think I'm not sympathizing with this guy anymore. Bruner was forced to sit tight for an hour after a locksmith was called, but said he could hear Burger King employees and customers laughing while he remained locked inside. because it is kind of funny. It is, to be fair. Once he was freed, he said he was given a Band-Aid and ointment for his injured hand, and a meaty offer he couldn't refuse. A manager said, "Yeah, man, we understand it's a terrible situation. We want to make it up to you." For nearly 2 weeks, Bruner chowed down on complimentary burgers every day, with the exception of Christmas Eve and Day. He even then twice enjoyed breakfast and dinner there. Well, I mean, breakfast at Burger King. You're now dining with royalty. You getting a McGriddle or whatever the Burger King equivalent of a McGriddle is, because I don't know. I never actually eat there. The location was convenient, he said, because it was one stop off the highway from his job in Troutdale. But on December 28th, he learned there really is no such thing as a free lunch. Employees told him that district management had nixed the agreement. In addition to the breach of agreement, Bruner accuses Burger King of negligence for failing to fix the busted bathroom and saying that that the door showed signs of damage caused by other people who had been previously locked inside. His lawyers want the Miami headquartered chain to cough up $9,026 that they calculated by assuming Bruner would be able to live to 72 years old and eat at least one Whopper meal worth $7.89 per week till then. Well, that's not really meals for life, but that is kind of slowing it down, I guess. Okay, here we go. Here we're going to find out exactly what it is. Bruner was convicted in 1994 for first-degree sexual abuse and first-degree sexual penetration and sentenced to 6.5 years in prison. He was required to register as a sex offender for life. He told the site that the conviction is 25 years old and that he's been a law-abiding citizen with no other convictions since then. Which is, okay, congrats, sir. You are, I guess a chomo no mo. Doesn't really change the fact that happened even 25 years ago. But listen, let's be fair, I guess, here. So looking at the idea, Burger King decided that it wanted to renege on a deal in order to get him to stop coming in and eating free food. Obviously, the district manager did not approve of this, meaning corporate didn't approve of this. So obviously, there was probably a reason for that there. That being said, I find the situation funny. It's like, oh, I'm sorry that you've been inconvenienced, sir. How does your victim feel about this? Have you bothered to give any of that $10,000 that you want to get to your victim? I just think that would probably be the more appropriate thing. However, I could be alone in that. I don't know. You guys got to tell me. Finally, this popped up last night, and this is the most horrific story of the week because it's an ongoing one. We literally have no idea how bad this gets or how bad it's going to get, who's involved in it. But as soon as I read the headline from this, and I'm pretty sure you have as well, you're thinking, oh, great, who watched Kill Bill and got that idea? A woman in a vegetative state for a decade gives birth at Arizona nursing facility, prompting sex abuse investigation. Fuck me, right? Holy shit. The Phoenix Police Department is investigating a possible sex abuse at a nursing facility after a female patient recently became pregnant and gave birth. Sources tell Phoenix Television that the alleged victim has been a patient at the Hacienda Healthcare Facility for at least a decade after a near-drowning incident left her in a vegetative state. The woman gave birth to a baby boy on December 29th. I'm still wrapping my head around that one, right? Like, I'm still wrapping my head around that. I mean, yeah, because she goes into a vegetative state doesn't mean her body isn't going to still be doing all the bodily functions. But holy crap. So it says here, none of the staff were aware she was pregnant until she was pretty much giving birth, a source familiar with the situation told the station. I don't see how that's a thing. She's been in a vegetative state. It's not like you're going in there on a weekly basis or daily basis and putting a Big Mac meal in a blender and putting it in her IV and giving it to her that way. So she would have natural weight gain off of the overconsumption and therefore lack of caloric burn from just daily exercise and daily movement. You would notice there would be a hump. There would be a bump. There would be there's physical things there. I mean, I'm not a doctor, but I've lived with a pregnant woman. Like there's changes. There's changes to the body. It's like going through puberty part 2, but just a lot more annoying, but quicker. It says, when asked how personnel found she was in labor, source responded, "From what I've been told, she was moaning, and they didn't know what was wrong with her. A nurse who was there apparently delivered the baby, adding that the infant was born alive and healthy. The patient required round-the-clock care and would not have been able to convey she was pregnant. Many would have been able to access her room. The facility changed protocol this week, she added, telling the station that male staff members need to bring a female employee with them in order to enter the women's room, which at this point kind of makes sense. Because if it's a male employee who's there who did this, they may want to try to dispose of the evidence, so to speak. But the story's out there now, so good luck on that one. Just hope the DNA tests don't come back. It says here that investigators from multiple agencies are saying next to nothing about the case, but the station reported that at some point last spring, someone sexually assaulted a woman who was in a persistent vegetative state, and she became pregnant. Hacienda Healthcare spokesman Nancy Salmon released the following statement saying Hacienda Healthcare has been in the business in the Valley for over 50 years and has an outstanding reputation providing yada, 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 standard crap here. So somebody raped a woman who was in a vegetative state for a decade, got them pregnant, and then they had a kid. I mean, tell me your first thought of this was not Kill Bill Volume 1, right? My name is Buck and I'm here to fuck. That whole situation came right to my mind, which leads me to ask the question then, is this a situation where what you have is a person who either engaged in the sexual act on his own, or we're going to find out that she was just basically used as just a fuck toy for like people who paid money. Now, listen, in regards to the outcome of this, I'm literally hoping for the former, that it was just a sicko pervert, which I'm not agreeing with any of it, but I mean, like, that to me is less terrible. Right? It's all terrible, but that's less terrible. So you have the guy who does it on his own, still terrible, less terrible than like paying for people. You know, people pay him to get access to go in there. I mean, maybe, Jesus, like I said, when we go through the terrible stories of the week, I'm not immune to these things myself, but those are the questions where we find ourselves. That's where we find ourselves here. Is this situation going to be terrible or more terrible? I definitely want to hear your thoughts on that one, but those are the 5 crazy stories I found this week for Stranger Days After Dark. Of course, if you guys want to submit your own stories for next week, you can always email me at themundanemat@gmail.com and submit your stories there. And you guys can always contact me in other ways as well. I look forward to your comments and your opinions. I look forward to the chat. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have yourself a great day, and I'll see you next time.